music, educational programs, politics, arts and entertainment, faith-based programs, sports, celebrity lifestyle, global news. Welcome to Eagles TV Abuja, giving you an audio-visual experience you can count on.
And so it is exactly 5 minutes gone past the hour 9 on the AM side. It is Eagles Morning Rises Breakfast Show. And it's now that we get to talk politics and current affairs. Amongst the many stories that's been making rounds in the political scene, one of such would be the face-off between the bishop, cardinal,
and the presidency.
And the presidency. He came out to highlight, how they told Mr. President the truth, and that from the president's body language, as you put it quite showed that the president didn't quite
it wasn't happy, the kind of situation where you tell someone the truth and the person is unhappy with the truth that you tell them.
Right.
Not that they are actually admitting that you're telling them the truth, but perhaps because, hey, I don't want to hear the truth from you. Right. Or perhaps, no, you don't tell me what to do. That kind of countenance. I believe that was what the Cardinal Onaiko was actually painting.
Right.
That, he looked at Mr. President's face and he was getting this message of like, I don't like this thing you said. Are you trying to tell me I don't know my job? Are you trying to tell me that I've not been doing well? Are you trying to tell me that everything I've been doing for the country has been counterproductive?
Right.
What are you telling me, Cardinal? That's the kind of thing I think, or that's the kind of message. Perhaps I might not be completely right. Yes, but I watched the interview. So I understand, I'm not a psychology student or whatever, but I could actually perceive Cardinal Onaiko, feeling this level of disappointment that perhaps the president is not happy with the fact that they told him the truth.
Right.
He's not probably happy that he criticized the policies of the president. I think that was the feeling Cardinal Onaiko had when he was talking during the particular interview.
And indeed, the candidate of the ADC, Atiku Abubakar, is also fired at the presidency. Their attack on the Catholic Church and John Cardinal Onaiko. In fact, even accusing the president's administration of growing intolerant of dissent and uncomfortable truths. And Uriwa too did the same.
Uriwa did the same.
Quite a number of,
Senator Shehu Sani, who has also been, vocal with some of these issues surrounding the policies from the president, also came out to talk about the same. In fact, he told the line of the cardinal. He's been saying stuff like that.
True.
But one thing I like about Shehu Sani is the fact that he's not the one who will just come out to wait for bad moments to come criticize. If the president does well, he also comes out to say, hey, yes, this one you did, kudos to you. He's not the type who will just sit in one place and wait for bad news before he comes out to talk.
That's right. We're not pro APC, we're not pro PDP, we're not pro ADC.
We're not pro nothing.
Or pro nothing.
We are pro Eagles FM.
And pro Eagles FM and pro leadership.
Pro leadership.
Good leadership, good governance.
Yeah.
That's what we are all about. And so when you do well, we talk about it. When you don't do well, we will still talk about it.
We will definitely still talk.
Because that's just what it is. It's the only way we can get you to do better, right? But anyways, when we look at the conversation for today, we're looking at the state police.
State police.
That's right. Now, should Nigeria rush constitutional amendment or reform first? Should we reform the state police first? Or should we just run about, you know what, we need state police, let's just, get it up and running and all of that. On August 2nd of 2026, the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria. I was waiting for this moment, to hear from Sharia, but the Supreme Council of Sharia in Nigeria, through its Secretary General, Nafiu Baba Ahmed, warned against rushing to amend the constitution to create state police. They acknowledge Nigeria's security crisis, thousands killed, millions displaced, farms and businesses destroyed and all of that, but they said that state police is not a magic solution. Right. Now, they argued that the real problems in the current Nigeria police are poor funding, corruption, low personnel, poor welfare, weak intelligence, and bad coordination. These were the things they highlighted, and they also went further to saying that it will not disappear by simply moving policing to states. So the council has called for wider national consultation, strong safeguards and reform of existing security structures before any amendment. In fact, they also warned that state police could become tools of political intimidation if not properly regulated. So the big question now is, do we create state police immediately, or do we fix the current system first? I think that's where the bone of contention is really about.
All right, that's right. Now, if we come to look at it, aside from what SCSN, the Supreme Council of Sharia Nigeria, is saying, now those in support of state police argue that insecurity has become too local and complex, especially for a centrally controlled police force to respond effectively. Right. Now, they believe governors and local authorities understand the terrain, they understand the language, the culture, and security languages better in their state. Now, on the other end, we also have those people calling for reforms to the existing Nigerian police force first, arguing that creating another police institution without fixing the current one could simply duplicate existing problems. Right. Now, this is what they're saying. But you will still have some people who will come out to say, why can't we have both the state police and reforming the current federal police, work simultaneously? Why can't we have them concurrently?
Right.
Is there an impossibility to making sure the federal police is being reformed, and at the same time we're also creating state police to get our security situations better? Now, I agree with what SCSN is saying, that it's not a magic wand, right? But it is before a child walks, before a child starts to run,
crawl.
The child has to crawl. That's right. So I feel it's a step in the right direction if we can have the state police, even though till now we're still having this delay. In the state police, we're waiting for the House of Assembly to, sign theirs, waiting for the House of that and House of this. But at the same time, I would want to believe we can actually do it concurrently. We have the United States of America. They have the federal police. They have the state police. We also have the local police. Now, even in the local police, they have the county police, and they have some other, policing systems, some, joint task force kind of, in a local way in some of these counties and some communities. In Russia, we also have something like that. So why can't we have that in Nigeria, where we have the federal police, making sure they tackle federal issues, right? And we have the state police, tackling insecurity that has to do with, localized kind of, and beyond that. Why can't we even have community policing? Some of us have been clamoring for, community policing, where we have, some of the security outfits handling security issues in communities, because of course we know that these people might even know some of these people actually causing havoc, causing chaos, getting involved in criminal activities and all that in their communities, because of course they are also members of the community.
Right. Well, let's get through with our guest is in the person of Sir Benedict Olalekon Agunloye. Now, he's an information professional, a policy and public affairs analyst. Sir Benedict, welcome aboard to the conversation.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning to you, Sir Benedict. Well, let's put the story, in a better light, right? And so that every other person can understand it proper. It's more like a leaking roof. If the rain is falling inside your house, you want to patch it immediately. I mean, that is how quite a number of Nigerians feel about insecurity today. But the SCSN is saying, before you build a new roof, check if the foundation of the old one can be repaired first, right? So, jumping into the conversation proper, do we create state police immediately, or do we fix the current system first? What do you think?
Well, let's take the state police journey like this.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You, as a man, want a child, right?
Yes.
That will do well and will follow some pattern that you think you were not able to follow in life. Now, the journey does not start in picking a child on the street, for instance. It will be illegal. You either have to go the route of adoption, or you have to go the route of properly engaging a woman. Right?
Right.
Now, when you engage the woman, pregnancy will come. You need to go through gestation before the child comes, and all other developmental things will follow. Now, you don't have to die, right? Or ostracize yourself because you want the child to come. Now, why am I saying this? When you come to the state police, at the level we are in now, is just getting the law. The law that permits the state police to exist is just the foundation. It's like pregnancy. It's not even gone through gestation, which will be the period for all the states to have concurrence from 24 state assembly. We don't know how long that will take. You sure know that we cannot coerce them. They're going to work at their own pace. So for me, I think that the National Assembly is not in a rush. I think that the president has no rush to it. We need to pass the law. You then need to get concurrence before you now begin to put together what will actually be the face of the state police from state to state. They are not going to be the same across the entire state.
Okay.
The budgeting process will not necessarily be the same. The minimum recruitment standard should be set, which will work for them. Now, there are judiciaries in the state which are independent, and you know that yes, governor has muscle power with the chief judge of the state. But the practical reality is that governors cannot remove the CJ in the state without consequence. Why? Because there is a national judicial council. So I expect that the law has provided, of course, for a national police council, which to an extent will help in ensuring that, for instance, the state governor does not ride it rough over the commissioner or whoever is in charge or the chief of police in the state.
Yeah.
Whoever will become the chief, whatever title we decide in the future to give him. But the practical reality is, do we need to amend the constitution to make provision for state police now? I think it is good enough.
Okay.
Should all of them take, even if all the states agree today and decide to take up, right? It will not meet up for next year election that some people are afraid of. Because the election is January and February. It takes 6 months to train a new police officer, right? So if it takes 6 months to train police constable, if you employ them, if you start the process now, you engage them in September, they will not graduate until March. So they are going to come out of the college or the police colleges after election. So I think those who are entertaining fear of governors can use them for election, don't let us start now, they really do not understand what policing and policing training involves.
Mr. Benedict, you know, I would want to understand you better, and I believe the listener out there will also want to understand you better. You know, going back to the question, do you think that we don't actually need the state police for now? Because you've been talking about the fact that it's going to keep delaying. Now, you already made mention of it's going to pass through the House of, as the state houses of assembly. They will also need ratification from there and all that. So, are you saying we should just keep staying patient and let's just reform the federal police? Let's just focus on reforming the federal police, because I will want to understand.
No, what I'm saying is, but we are not, what they are doing now is not a rush. What they are doing now is to make the law available. And I'm saying that even after that the law is ready, it will take minimum of 9 months for any state to be able to get that on board. And for some states it can take more than 2 years.
So we should focus on reforming, or we should focus on reforming the federal police. Is that what you're implying?
No, what I'm saying is we need to pass the laws now.
Okay.
And begin to lay the foundation. That so passing the law is not being in a rush. And for me, we need the law. You need to lay the foundation. You need to do the groundworks. And then eventually the state police can begin to take up. So passing the law or enacting the law is not the same thing as take-off points of the state police. I'm not sure that any state government has budget in 2026. Budget provision for take-off of state police is definitely not there. So if it is not there, I don't think that anybody will rush overnight to do that. But if we pass the law and the law is in place, it becomes a basis in 2027 or 2028 budget cycle for states to begin to plan for the takeoff of their state police.
But some people might want to disagree a bit with you, especially with what you just said, because of course we've had state governors set up and launch local security outfits, and it didn't even take time. They just come out in their uniforms already. They just come out and they say there's the training already.
It took time. Somebody sold the uniform. Somebody imported the uniform. They possibly didn't tell you when they were working it in the pipeline. That's what we are saying.
Okay.
So uniform cannot emerge overnight. Structures cannot emerge overnight. But because they were states or they knew where they were going, they can decide to not speak so much about it. But because it is state police and it is going to be nationwide, we need to pass the laws. And whatever they are doing right now is at the stage of the law making. That's what I'm saying.
Both the Senate and the House of Representatives have passed the constitutional alteration bill. Now, I think the only delay here is the ratification from the 36 state houses of assembly. So why should that even delay further to 1 year, 2 years? Why should that delay?
That's what I'm saying is we need to prevail on the states now to look at it and pass. It is when the law is ready that you can now begin to think about implementation. State police existing with the implementation of the law. But as we speak today, the process of passing the law is still not over.
Okay.
So we can. So therefore, those who are accusing the president or anybody of being in a rush, I think they are wrong.
Okay.
Because when you pass the law and the law is ready and it's agreed by 2/3 of the state as required by the constitution, that is when the real war will now begin. So each of the states that will be ready to take off.
Okay.
Now, for states who are ready to take off, they now have to plan for it. They now have to think about how their training will get done, how their recruitment will get done, where the operational basis will be, how are they going to fund in their particular state. Because the terrain will vary from state to state, the need will vary from state to state, recruitment, number of people to be recruited will vary. What we can have is a uniform minimum standard. Don't employ whoever does not have this below this level into the system. We've seen with the federal government, the fire forest guard system today, that obviously states are taking things differently.
Right.
Kaduna has decided to say, we are taking our vigilante corps, which some of who used to be hunter before they came into the vigilante corps. Now they trained about 1,901 of them to say, we will put you in the forest to take possession. So a lot of domestication and differences will happen. But first, you need the law.
Okay.
Clearly. So what is ongoing, and I keep insisting, is not being rushed as far as I'm concerned, is the process of getting the law done.
Right.
Some of those who think the National Assembly has been in a hurry. This thing has been in debate forever. It didn't start yesterday. So all those who were talking about their imputes and the rest, where were they in whatever public hearing that happened? I've gone to National Assembly to witness a lot of public hearing, and most times you really don't see people show interest or even attend. In a few cases, it's just those who know the law or who want the law that are there. Nobody is there on public interest to say, I think if you pass this law, this, and this are what ways that it will wrongly affect the people.
All right.
So we need to follow the process of law making and ensure that we are making our contribution and input at the level of the National Assembly and not just on social media and on radios and television. That way the laws will be robust and will reflect the interest and the views of the people.
All right, let's take a breather, open the phone lines, because I'm sure family members are itching to be a part of this one. I mean, because it's one thing to talk about a policing system, it's another thing to also think about what the policing system will devolve into, right? And what it is that we have on ground. Right now, the number for you to be a part of this conversation is 0907 353 0044. That is the number for you to call. Just stick to that number, and better still, get onto the WhatsApp portal number 0908 766 8888. And remember, across social media platforms, we have a strong presence.
Yes, definitely, we have a strong presence in social media platforms like the Facebook, so you can go right on our Facebook, because of course you can also get to enjoy not just the audio, but also the visual part of what we're doing right now. Eagles FM Abuja. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly drop your comment, and of course follow the page, so that whenever we're here you get to you get notified. And we also have our YouTube.
The YouTube.
The YouTube is Eagles TV Abuja. Great. Eagles TV Abuja. Same thing, comment, like, and subscribe.
Oh, that's
okay. You can call back.
Do well to call back right there. Well, Sir Benedict, I'm glad you're still here, right?
Yes.
Sir B, one of the concerns that the SCN has, one of the concerns, and it's a very glaring concern, is saying that, look, devolving the Nigerian police into states, it's not a magic wand. It's not a magic solution. If you recall, in 2020, when we had the End SARS, you know what that protest was about, yes? And we saw how that protest ended.
Police brutality. And all.
Police lack of poor welfare. There was a lot of things, and then it touched on governance as well. And that protest shows to me that you cannot talk good citizenry without touching on leadership, as well as touching on the security architecture of a country. There is no way for you to say you have a stable society. You've got to talk about the leadership, that's governance, and then you talk about security, which of course trickles down into welfare. So we had another protest that came aboard, right, at that point in time, and yet up until now we still see a police system that is plagued by brutality. And I think that's a concern of the SCSN, right? But anyways, we'll take the scores. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the network.
Yeah, you can keep trying.
Stick to that number we gave you, 0907-353-0044. Hello.
Hello, my name is Tek. Good
morning, Bibi.
My caller, my name is our guest.
Bibi.
I greet our guest this morning. Although I know the speak of bikini, I want just shut my comment shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, here for a month, he say we no need to blame president. My own that as you get there, so your gang, he give you assignment what to do. This thing, pass for all. May it be like this. You have the right to say no. That means say the oga go come back say no. That's the way I say make you pass for all. Don't do it. That is why this is what where we dey talk and our police matter where we dey talk. Maybe they feel their way. This issue of security where we are beating around the bush. Our government, you know what to do. They know what to stop it.
Okay, so
Bibi, wait. They want to stop.
Bibi, wait. You don't believe in state police, Abi? You believe in state police?
I think she does.
No. I believe on it. Yes, I believe on it. In our government, in our politicians, go still use the guess us. I'm telling you, I believe this 100 times.
Okay.
But we go they pay them this money. Where this money go they call to pay them? Look at our police when they go for duty. They cannot receive their salary. They cannot. Somebody just sit that there to chop their money. Even though we report for police, they see what they happen. They say no. It's not happen like that. If you talk true, they go there after you. They go put your cloth to that. The state police, who go they pay them? Now our politicians go see they pay them. Have been at the local autonomy go they pay. When we know who go they pay them, our president be mad to now. They go turn up for politician business. I'm telling you, but our police, the good one they make they take away, make they take care of our police.
Okay.
Not be say money to give police. The police they buy their uniform. The police they buy their shoe. But the money when they supposed to receive, somebody, maybe the oga.
And those uniforms are actually expensive.
It's so good. Now would they say it's not good? Maybe they take care of them. They know how to stop this Boko Haram. They know. Bye bye.
All right, thank you. Bibi.
All right, Bibi blessed. Yudi.
Sir,
you know, let's even go back memory lane a little. Right now, former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari maintained a firm and consistent opposition to the creation of state police. I believe we don't forget. We shouldn't forget that. He was completely against the state police. In fact, let me quote what he said. He said, state police is not an option. Do you know why he said that? He said the relationship between the state government and the local government is something to be concerned about. That decentralizing police, the policing system in Nigeria might not work, because the relationship between these two, the two tiers of the government is not something to write home about. Till today, we don't even have the local government autonomy.
So it leads me to the question, Sir Benedict. The question now is, given the state of our security architecture, talking about our policing system now, which is plagued by many holes, do you think that Nigeria needs indeed to disintegrate the policing structure into other states when we have not even catered for the issues that we are facing with the
federal police?
That's what we are saying, because that's the fear, that's the concern.
Because of course it might even get to that point where we now have state police, and what the federal police is experiencing right now might be the same thing It might be they might also experience from the same pot of soup the federal police is actually facing right now. So are we even ready for a state police when we don't have a proper reform of the federal police? Hello, Sir Benedict.
Yeah. Now, if you ask me, I think that there are fears that are genuine. There are also things that we need to know. We've seen Tinubu put so much into the security architecture in the state. We've seen some states where police do not have patrol vehicles and they don't even have police stations. And the governor possibly was busy buying surveillance aircraft. You wonder how the information gathered by the aircraft will possibly be used. Now, we've also seen states like Lagos, where you have a police support system that provided helicopters for surveillance, that provided extra kits for the policemen that were deployed to do those activities and operations. Now, the funding or the capacity of the states in Nigeria are not exactly equal.
Okay.
But when the law constrains you from being able to do what you have the capacity to do effectively, it is not good for the sub-nationals. And that is why amending the law is the starting point. When the law is amended, it will be the choice of the state to plan when do we intend to have these take off. And where a state says, for now we are not able to do this, what you get is that it means that the federal forces will still continue to protect them or to operate in that environment. But the license that takes away, of course, from the governor is talking to the federal system anyhow to say, how am I the chief security officer if the policeman is taking, if the police commissioner is taking instruction from Abuja? If you don't want him to take instruction from the person that is paying him, the law now permits you to have your own people who can take instruction and be responsible. But you also have to put your money there. It's actually wrong for you to expect someone to pay in staff and then use the staff for your own purpose the way you like, without recourse to the organ that is paying you. So, like I said, we needed the law that makes that clarification, that set the minimum standard, that set the rules. So those who are talking about welfare or this or that, I believe that the minimum standard of the rules should define all that. Now again, because we are going to work within the state, I believe that what you need to survive, for instance, in some part of the state, is not exactly the same thing as what you need to survive as a policeman in Abuja. So in terms of resources available to the state, they differ. In terms of what you need for your logistics, what you need for your transport, what you need for accommodation, what you need for paying your children's school fees cannot be exactly the same for the man in Kano or Bauchi as it is for the person in Lagos, Port Harcourt or Abuja. Okay. So we expect those variants and a number of other things to come in. Okay. And we expect that the state will make provision and resources available to meet whatever minimum standard that the Police Act that we emerge after now will set for the state.
Right.
And so to a large extent, therefore, I think that rather than preempting, rather than refusing to trust the politician, like we said, the process is on now. A number of governors are on their second term. Definitely, they cannot finish before they leave. So whatever you think are their influence, when they leave by May next year, the influence will leave. If a new governor comes in, he has the opportunity to, of course, influence things. But when you are out of office, what will be left of you is the standard and the legacy that you are
All right.
Okay, well, let's take a breather, pay some bills. We'll be right back in a short bit. Remember, the conversation is still on, and this is the political and current affairs probe show on Eagles 10.
I know, yeah. And of course, and when we return, be ready to join in the conversation, right? 0907-353-0044 or 0909-705-4450. So as soon as we return, we'll definitely pick your calls and all that.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
If you've been waiting for the right time to own land in Abuja, the time is now. IBEN Properties invite you to own a plot in Hutu Prestige, one of Africa's most ambitious city developments on Airport Road, Abuja, home to the iconic Polo Lake Resort, the eco-smart Green City, and the breathtaking Mountain Resort, all within one extraordinary destination designed for modern living, investment, and lasting value. Prices start from just 12 million naira, with plot sizes ranging from 150 to 750 square meters and flexible payment plans available. But hurry, this special offer ends August 15th. Once it ends, these prices are gone. Call 0904-444-4411 today and secure your place in the future of Abuja.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah, that woman own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, Mikas, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by Mikas and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
So we're back with a conversation right here and on here in Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling
Yes, my name is Abubakar.
Abubakar.
And I greet all the listeners and all the callers, and also greet the police again, and
Right.
I also greet your guest.
That's right.
Mr. Yudi, I think the Nigeria police and they are talking about the state police. The welfare is the Nigeria police. The welfare is poor. You look at the way some of them look at the way the life they live. That is why corruption can never ever stop. The welfare, their packaging, the allowances are then given to them. So one person will sit in the office, be having essays, so talking about saying that he is IG, is a assistant superintendent of police. All those ones should be looked into. Even the state police, the same thing will still happen with the IG.
Right.
The corruption, their welfare should look into. They should set up committee how their welfare, how their packaging will be paid. Their children, look at the life, some of the children, look at the life they are living, Mr. Yudi. When you're talking about Yahoo, go to Nigeria and see police children, see, look at it, corruption. They should look into it, a set of committee to look into how their welfare, their packaging will be paid. Thank you.
All right, many thanks, Abubakar, for that one. You can still keep that call coming through. Remember, the number is 0907-353-0044. The Supreme Council of Sharia has said that, look, the way things are going now, that look, what we need is not really state police, or it will not bring the magic wand. When you've not reformed the police that is already collapsing, the federal police that's collapsing already, how do you think you can get the state police up and running? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Edward, good morning once again.
Yes, please.
Omoti,
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
My name is Honorable Edward from Napo.
Honorable.
Yes.
Yeah. This police of the thing,
You see, everybody is, supporting this police, state police.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue is that, I keep on saying this. Thank God, with your explanation now, it's really better for me because we are not matured. That's the best way to you. We're not matured.
Right.
And of course, we have to be matured, and it will take us time to be matured because, most of the governors, particularly the governors, this police will be answerable to them. I am telling you, even now that there's no state police. If you see what governors use police to do in election years, it will look as if they are God. So now, if you introduce this police, it is so we work on the movement for the fact that we are having insecurity challenges in this country. That is what is pushing us to establish state policing. But between the insecurity that we have in this country and the political part of this, which one do you think this police will work better? Who is going to benefit? Is it the insecurity that is killing the whole masses, or that police will work for, or the police are going to work for the governors to succeed in their own various elections? No, who will contest with the governor in Nigeria?
Right.
So now we're not matured.
Okay.
And I look at it as if there is any delay, the tenure of these people are going to expire by next year, right?
Yeah.
Then I don't think this bill will be passed before that time.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay.
All right.
So by that, yes. But with that, I think we'll be a little bit mature, to handle. We'll be done with what is up after the election. Electioneers will be done with this one and face that.
Okay.
Well, no, honestly speaking.
All right.
Honorable. Quickly, UD, maybe it's also pertinent for us because I did my research and I had to check through the salaries, the monthly salaries of the Nigerian Police Force (NPF). Now, from the breakdown that I received, according to the compass structure, right now. Rank and file officers like police constables, that's the PCs, collect between 84,000 and 86,000 naira. Now, corporals collect between 90,000 naira and 96,000 naira in 2026. Sergeant receive between 96,000 naira and 110,000 naira. Sergeant major receives between 119,000 naira and 120,000 naira, still in the range of 100 and 100. Right now, to inspector of police receive between 150k and 250k. Although I heard there's been a little increase or so, a review in this inspectors' salaries, right? But from what I received from the official document, it's between 150,000 and 250k. Then we now start talking of commissioned officers who receive between 230,000 naira, 230k, 230,000 naira. And we know before you get to the point of assistant superintendent of police (ASP), you must have spent couple years in the Nigerian police force before getting to that point as a commissioned officer. Now you're receiving between 230 and 290. For deputy superintendents, between deputy between 290 and 320. That's for DSPs, right? Then superintendent is where they now take between 320 and 490. Do you know that I thought people like the CSPs, chief superintendents, perhaps might have a take home of 500k, 600k, but these people take between 320k and I think 390,000 or so.
So
now we are conversing for the salaries of soldiers being increased to about 200. The minimum salaries of soldiers being increased to about 250,000 naira.
Hopefully,
right?
Yeah.
Now we have the Nigerian police force. Yes, they have their downs, they have their whatever, their challenges, they have some of the things that they do that we don't like. But let's be sincere, some of them are actually doing a very good job. In fact, their presence alone brings fear, especially to some criminals in communities. Just their presence alone, and you start seeing criminals running helter-skelter at all. So we can't deny the fact that we need the presence of the police officers. But guess what? The minimum salary or the minimum take-home is around 80,000 naira.
So how do we guarantee effective work, especially with the laborious task that state will be carrying on their shoulders in terms of funding for state police?
Federal can't even pay, the federal government can't even pay the federal police as much as they should earn. And then we will now have state police being paid by governors. How much do you think they will collect? We'll be talking of like 40,000 now, 50. Can you expect them to actually do the job well?
Well, Sir B, here's where we are in this conversation. Right? I mean, what
are
your thoughts?
Now, this is what I will say. When we come to salary and welfare, the truth is that the doctors are complaining, teachers are complaining, civil servants are complaining. Yeah. Even in the media, a lot of people, even as low as the salary is, there are people in media houses who have not had their salary in 3 months, in 6 months. So when we come to wages and earning, there is a general problem. If the economy becomes more productive, or we are able to get ourselves out of the current job, then everybody can begin to get back to talk of being well paid. When you see doctors who are colleagues in UK are earning this, how much is their driver in Nigeria earning? What are the drivers in the UK earning? So what we notice is generally when it comes to salary structure and pay, more than 80% of people in Nigeria, especially the non-political appointees and the non-politicians, are heavily and grossly underpaid. But we all might need, from the doctor to the lawyer to the driver to the police to the army, we all might need to make some more sacrifices to get the better nation that we all desire.
Mr.
Now some are talking about corruption in the federal police. How will the state police be different and this and that? The states manage their secondary schools. Some states have over 400 secondary schools and some states have just about 100, depending on their various capacities. And we think that to a large extent, the secondary schools have survived differently to the level and the capacity of the states. So to a large extent, we need to give our body of law that uniformity, that reference point that can allow each state to develop and grow whatever it needed to do at its own level.
Now, Mr. Benedict, before you go on because of time, is our economy not productive? Now, I'm asking this question because the last allocation that was given to the governors, come on, the highest so far, it's over 2 trillion naira. Now, you might want to ask some people this same question: is the economy productive? And they tell you yes, but yet we still have this economic hardship biting on Nigerians. We still have very meager salaries being paid to Nigerians in different sectors, both private and public. So is our economy not actually productive? I thought we've been able to save monies from subsidy. I thought we've
let's take it this way. Let's take it this way. If you are borrowing to eat and you reduce what you are eating, you are actually not saving money. You are only reducing your borrowing. I think that puts that on the issue.
So are you saying the government is borrowing to pay FAC money to governors? Are you saying the government?
No, hold on, sir. We were borrowing to pay for subsidy. And if we are continuing subsidy, the chances are that we will still be doing forward food sales to meet up for subsidy, which is spending what we have not earned. But like I said, when it comes to where we are, is our economy productive enough? My answer will be no. We are trying, but we are not doing enough. Insecurity is pervading. The farmers, the one we call the non-government sector, the farm work and those things that happens in the rural areas, power is lost in our economy. But right now, majority of those things cannot happen because of insecurity. Even the little that are happening because of bad roads, we have the highest post-harvest decomposition for cassava in the world. We are the highest producer, we also have the highest loss. So a lot of our tomatoes and pepper are also lost in transit because the roads are not good, because the transportation system is not there. So it amounts to labor loss. And those who transport these things or who buy them and lose the money on the way have to find a means of covering up. So when you do that, the price goes up. The fact that you buy an item, you should buy 50 kobo for 500 is profit for the seller. But when you look at it on the overall, it's not an improved productivity for the system. So we need to see what we will do to ensure that from planting to harvesting and getting our produce to the market, we cut down on the losses. If that is done, then we become a more productive nation. Right now we are working, but a lot of the work, in my opinion, amounts to labor loss because the infrastructure and the services needed to bring out the maximum results and revenue from our activities are simply not there. Oil and tax shouldn't be the basis for driving a nation like ours. We are not in Europe. We are not a developed nation. We are an underdeveloped nation. So tax shouldn't be the driving force of our system. There should be a lot coming from the grassroots, from cottage industry. We are a solid mineral, a gas, and an agricultural nation. So tell me what content of the money shared in part comes from agriculture, comes from solid mineral, which, in my opinion, is what we as a nation have uniformly.
All right, Mr. Benedict.
So we are not productive enough.
We are not productive enough, but yet we give over 2 trillion to governors, to the federal government from the FAC allocation. Then why don't you actually, disintegrate that money so it gets to, ordinary Nigerians out there who collect mega salaries?
Let's just take this message.
Okay.
The government should allow the local government to preach.
Okay, let's take this message. Benedict. Good morning, UDN Omoti Babanla. On the issue of state police, I maintain that many politicians are advocating for its creation because they want to entrench themselves, their families and their cronies in power, gain greater control over state resources and suppress citizens and political opponents, a replica of the First Republic. I am also at a loss as to how state police will succeed in tackling security challenges that have defied the Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, the SS, NIA, NSCDC, EFCC, DMI, DIA, ICPC, and the NDLEA for more than a decade.
You almost said an NPC.
We are quick to cite what obtains in the United States, but does America have as many security agencies as Nigeria? Do Nigerians conduct themselves the way Americans do? Is our political culture the same as theirs? The answer is no. Those canvassing this idea today may ultimately become its victims if it is introduced. Have a nice day.
All right. Well acknowledged.
That's a lot.
Actually.
And then, Sir Benedict, let me also bring it to you before we just wrap up totally. We're only talking state police now. There are fears that groups might begin to create their own security architecture after state police. There are also concerns that we're only very, very particular about state police. Nobody's talking community police now. So it is after this one we'll start conversing again. Community police, community police, community police.
It's
are we really ready for this?
It's like a child. It's like giving birth to a child, and you're waiting for the child to blow up and become successful before you decide to give birth to another child.
But anyway, Sir Benedict, time will not allow. But thank you still for adding your voice in this conversation this morning. We appreciate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir
Great,
Benedict.
and that's the thing. State police. We have not tackled the reforms in police system.
That's one thing.
And later
anyways,
we'll start
that's
talking community police. Oh, good Lord, this is really.
If we are in a sane climb, right? I'm telling you, we can run both concurrently.
True.
If we have sincere leaders,
right?
I tell you this, we can have both state police and the federal police running effectively.
All right. Let's call it a close. But thank you for being a part of it. We saw your calls that you can still leave a message in the playback on Facebook and YouTube, especially. Good morning.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
This is Eagles 102.3 News, your number one radio experience you can count on.